One of the things I'm really curious about and getting your insight is, what do you see are the current challenges today in recruiting and retention? And if you can give it on a broader spectrum, but then if you can narrow it down, especially as it relates to diverse candidates.
Yeah, I'll hop in. Challenges are among us in a lot of different areas. I think recruiting is always going to be an issue. The scope of our profession as a whole has really narrowed down what we define as underrepresented talent in our organizations. And when I say underrepresented talent, I say talent that is not mostly represented within our organization. So I would say right now, the struggle for, and has been for quite some years, is getting students into the profession of accounting from an early career perspective. Yes. That does not mitigate or say that there's not also a challenge for our pipeline for our experienced higher talent as well. I think that the barriers are multiple, when it comes to in collegiate early career stage. It's giving them access to firms and individuals that can show them that we are not number two pencil pushers, right? Like, what do accountants look like? What does a CPA look like? And I feel like sometimes Nadia knows this story and Todd knows as well. I said, if anyone's ever seen that Girls Like Me music video that Adam Levine did, and he stood in the middle of the room playing his guitar, and there was a bunch of people rotating around him that looked all different. That's what I envision we need to share with our profession, that anybody can look like an accountant, right? Anybody can be an accountant. If you like to race cars, if you like to fix cars, if you like to sell cars, you can be an accountant that specializes in the automotive niche, right? We really need to redesign, reshape, help our students and our professionals understand we're not just auditors, we're not just tax accountants, we are not just advising clients. We really have a passion, and we need to match the passion of the candidate with the tools and what we're looking to accomplish at our firm. So I think that, coupled with the shrinking population of individuals going into the profession, we've really seen like what they would call a perfect storm, not in our favor. So as those numbers decline, then the underrepresented talent numbers become smaller and smaller. It doesn't mean the need is not there. The need is still there, and we have more people fighting for that talent, amongst all the firms. So I'll kick it to Todd.
I completely agree. The talent shortage and the pipeline is something that we probably hear at every conference that we go to. I mean, it's at the forefront of what we discuss pretty much on a daily basis. You look at some of the statistics, 75% of our membership is currently eligible for retirement. Now you think about that, and the workers age, what they classify as millennials, right? So that's workers age 24 and under. In the accounting profession, they represent 5.5% of accountants and auditors. Now, if you look at the broader workforce and those folks in that age range, it's 12%. Mm-hmm. So, we have a lot coming out of the back end and not a lot coming in, on the front end. So it's a real challenge. But I think when it comes to diversity and inclusion, my goal is for us to become, to move from ally to activists. Most firms have a diversity and inclusion policy. It's posted on their website. It's available. It's there. And that's a great first step to have that, to acknowledge the fact of how important this topic is. But we really have to move to the activist stage of this. And the biggest challenge that people have, and I'm just going to be frank, is time. This work is non-billable hours to be able to do this. And it's not just wave a magic wand and say, hey, we have a DEI policy and we're going to follow it. I mean, there's a lot of time and effort you have to put into this and a lot of caring. Mm-hmm. But it's extremely important, because if you don't do it, you are going to pay for it in one of two ways. You're going to pay for it in time, which we all know. I mean, all of us that work in this profession, we know how much we work. So you're going to pay for it in time, or you're going to pay for it financially. So it's really important for us to make sure that we are we have a plan in place. We can follow it to make sure that the underrepresented talent is coming into this industry. And Bill, you hit it on the head. Like, we have an image issue sometimes, right? Like, we just have to make sure that, people know that anybody can be an accountant. And I think you really, really hit the nail on the head when you said that.